Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tuesday, February 7th order and procedure for the Sebring City Council. We'll start out with an invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by a highly esteemed Mayor.
Sure. Thanks, Chief. Councilman, please bow with me. Lord, thank you once again for the wonderful city of Sebring, the place that we live. We thank you for the staff that we have and maintaining the city in the form it is. We ask that you watch over our citizens, our staff, our city council as they make sound and right decisions, our first responders as they protect us on a day-to-day basis. We ask that all we do in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Kathy, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Shute,
Here.
Bishop,
Here.
Carlisle,
Here.
Mendel,
Here.
Stewart,
here.
Detman.
Here. Next item on the agenda is a business from the audience. If you have anything you'd like to discuss with council tonight that is not on tonight's agenda, please come forward. Ms. Haley, or I'm sorry, on the table right there are some forms right here. If you'll fill that out and then forward them to Mrs. Haley, we'll call you up a little bit later in tonight's agenda. Mayor's report.
Just a couple things. I don't see anybody from Ridge Area ARC here. Do you? Is anybody from the ARC here? Is your wife coming, Bobby? Okay. Anyways, we'll do a proclamation, but just a few things that happened. Chili Fest happened last month. Had a huge crowd, so I want to thank Rotary for putting that on. It was it was absolutely huge, and waiting to hear the attendants. I guess are using this thing called geofencing now, where they kind of draw an electronic fence around the city, and as you pass through it, it kind of ticks off how many people were there. So we'll be able to get more accurate information as far as who attends these events and that. So it's pretty cool. But it was a great day and a great job. CRA, their first project, 301, got off the running. Don Davies in the back. We got the front end of the house open, and in a few weeks they're going to have the kitchen open. So. But things are starting to happen in those buildings downtown, so it's moving along right away. We have the fair is in town, so if you all want to go get a corn dog and ride a few rides, go to the fair. Just want to caution you, the fair is in town, so make sure when you get bills from outsiders that you don't know that they're real bills. So there are some counterfeit bills floating around, so just be careful. Race is coming. Next month, the big 12 Hours of Sebring. It's going to be super again. Expect a huge crowd. They're going to have the WEC with the regular race. So it's going to be 2 full days of racing with many different races prior to that. So it's a big economic driver for Highlands County, for the city of Sebring, and it's what puts Sebring on the map as far as internationally. It's just neat to see that. And next, on the 14th, this is for the guys. Remember, that's Valentine's Day. So you now have no excuse not to get somebody a nice little gift. So, but and I do have a proclamation. Usually Donna Sherlocker and Kathleen Border are here for the developmental disabilities. I practiced that like 100 times. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and read this from here. It's whereas Ridge Area ARC is involved in advocating for programs that promote positive system changes that allow persons with developmental disabilities to dream, believe, and achieve their personal individual greatness. And whereas Ridge Area ARC encourages all Florida citizens to actively participate in events that appropriately recognize and celebrate Florida's diverse population, including persons with developmental disabilities. Whereas Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in March has been established to promote awareness and understanding of opportunities, challenges, and needs of persons with developmental disabilities. Whereas the Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month also recognizes Florida's public policy accomplishments concerning persons with developmental disabilities, as well as identifying the improvements to public policy that are needed to ensure that all Florida citizens with developmental disabilities have the capacity to lead full, productive, and engaged lives. And whereas it is necessary and appropriate that local communities such as Sebring support the mission and purpose of Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month and encourage our citizens to recognize and respect this important commemoration. Now therefore be it resolved that I, John Shute, Mayor of the City of Sebring, Florida, do hereby proclaim March 2023 as Developmental Disability Awareness Month in the City of Sebring and encourage all Americans to support these organizations in their noble humanitarian missions. So,
Thank you, Mayor.
that's it.
Good job.
Thank you.
We're looking for a motion on that.
Pardon?
Placement of scarves on the circle for the month of March.
I'm sorry. We do have the, every year they've been, as a kind of fundraiser and awareness, they tie scarves around the lamp poles on the circle with little messages on them. So they would like, again, to do it this year. They take them, put them up, and whatever's left over before the race usually comes down. And it's for people to take. But they usually disappear before the races come in, so, but they'll respect that. And so we just need a motion from the city council
To
to
make a motion,
do
we
that.
approve the placement of the scarves as presented.
Second. We have a motion from Mr. Carlisle and a second from Mr. Bishop. Any discussion on that matter? Any discussion from the audience? Kathy, call the roll.
Bishop,
Yes.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Mendel,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Detman.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council members' concerns, comments, liaison reports. We'll start to my far left there. Mrs. Mendel, please.
Thank you. I, of course, brought up about the bat issue a number of weeks back, and I called maybe in the recent past here to Mac McLean, and he said the bats were gone from the area that they were a problem, and he was very happy about that. And it seems like the bats moved right over to the Circle Theater, but evidently they took care of them right away. So the bats have dispersed and are no longer a problem on our Sebring City Circle. So we're very happy about that. And I wanted to give kind of a shout out to Stephen Kramer, our Public Works Director. I heard today that he is just doing a great job, and I want to get together with him to see how I can help with some of the things that have been brought to my attention by citizens that hopefully will be easy to take care of. One was Joanna Williams, who had written a letter to everyone up here, and she is a member of the municipal golf course and was concerned that it was not being cared for properly. And as I understand it, that is the responsibility of the golf course people, the staff out there. So I believe that our city is having a consultant come in to see how. I think they do that regularly, as I understand it, Scott, kind of off and on, to see about how to, what suggestions could be made to maybe keep the municipal golf course up a little bit better. So that was good. And then in the last year, I've heard from a couple of people about the Pinecrest Cemetery, but one of them got together with me yesterday and sent me a bunch of pictures saying that we needed to do some work out there. And I do know that, the storm damage has gotten us a little bit behind on all that. So we're working on all that. But it's nice to know we have somebody capable and doing a very good job with the public works. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Mendel. Mark Stewart.
I'm good, thanks.
And Art Carlisle.
I'm good too.
Roland? Good. Nothing, huh? Okay. Next thing on our agenda here is the consent agenda. We have 10 items on the consent agenda. If you'll look through those and see if there's any discussion necessary, otherwise I'll entertain a motion to approve all 10 of those.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as proposed.
Second. Okay, we've got a motion and we have a second from Mr. Bishop. Anyone from the audience want to talk on any one of those 10 consent agenda items? Not hearing any. Mrs. Haley, please.
Bishop, Carlisle,
Yes.
Mendel,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Detman.
Yes. Okay. Let's get, there's no old business, so we'll go right straight to new business, pointing to the CRA board. If it's okay with you, I will turn this over to Mrs. Haley. right from the top. How's that? Going to start it out?
It doesn't matter. There's opening with the resignation of Mrs. Shannon Sapp to the CRA board. Her term would have expired September 30th, 2024, so this vacancy is to fill that unexpired term. You've been given 3 names, Mr. Alan Kent, Ms. Tennille Drury Smith, and Ms. Deborah McGuinn Titler. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Okay.
So I will call the names in alphabetical order. The first name getting the majority of the votes, obviously will get the position. Ready? The first name to be called is Alan Kent. Bishop.
No.
Carlisle.
Pass.
Mendel.
No.
Stewart.
Pass.
Detman.
Pass.
Okay. Tennille Drury Smith. Bishop.
Yes.
Carlisle.
Yes.
Mendel.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Detman.
Yes.
Okay, there's no need to call the last name.
Okay. Very good. Congratulations.
And
to
Tennille is
Drury
in the
Smith, and I
audience.
believe she's in the audience.
Do we get a speech?
Do we get, how about just a wave? There we go. Congratulations, Tennille. She's a nice lady, easy to work with over at the Chamber of Commerce too, and we appreciate all she does. Okay. Item 10B, Fourth Amendment and restatement of development agreement between the City of Sebring and Lake Jackson Holdings LLC and Lake Jackson Management LLC. Mr. Natelick and Mr. Swain will carry this one through.
Good evening, Council. If you'll recall, back in April and October of last year, the owner of that property approached Council for a couple of different items. First, to rezone a piece of property that was 30.34 acres for a 529-unit apartment complex. And as a condition of that, there was a 9.99 acre parcel that was priorly a planned development that got rezoned in October by you all to an R1 parcel with low-density residential. There's also about 100 acres of that parcel that has not been rezoned with the city zoning and/or the land use changed from county yet to city. So the attached development agreement will govern the 30.34 acres and then the balance of the property from a perspective of if they should develop that 100 acres, if you will, they will need to come back to council for a land use and zoning change. City attorneys looked at this, their attorneys looked at this. We actually have an executed copy from them. And I believe representatives of the developer are in the audience to answer any questions you might have.
Doesn't this include, I mean, this is more under prohibition of the assignment?
So the existing development agreement that's been in place for a number of years prohibited the assignment by the developer to a future developer.
Correct.
The version that you have in front of you today does not have that provision, and does have a provision that requires the property owner, whomever it may be, to come get zoning before developing the balance of the property.
Okay. I think that was the main point, was just that assignment release.
That's probably the whole idea, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine it would make it more valuable.
Well, I think in the long run, what it entails is that, and this is the end game for a financial institution, that they finance it, and that's, I think, where most of this is coming from on the financing, that in the end of the deal, if the financial institution has to foreclose on this thing, they want to make sure that they can get all the assignment of all the rights that are underneath the development agreement, so they don't have to come back and fight to get it. That it automatically transfers to them, so. probably the main
makes
premise
sense.
to it, so.
Any further discussion from the audience? One more time, anybody from the audience want to discuss this issue? Anybody want to make a, well, does it require a motion?
It would. This is a change in the development agreement for that parcel.
Okay, so I think there's a requested motion available for us.
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve the attached Fourth Amendment and reinstatement of development agreement.
Okay, we have a motion.
Forgive me, I just wanted to ask a quick question.
Sure.
And that is, I'm confused as to where this
Tom.
property is located.
Sure, come on up.
Oh, sure.
Come on up. I didn't, you were hiding behind that mask there.
Yes, no,
Just
I,
kidding, you know.
I was in the hospital for
Oh,
5
you're a good
days.
guy.
This
Oh,
is
my
to protect
goodness.
you
I
and
hope
me.
you're okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I'm fine.
This town can't do without you, you know that.
Thank you, thank you.
Very welcome.
Christopher Tuffley for the record. I don't know where this property is. I don't have any.
Mr. Natelick's trying to find an aerial.
He's gonna put it up there for you and then maybe even describe it.
Thank you.
So, the old Killenworth Golf Course property, are you familiar?
Okay, line between the Parkway and Ridgewood.
Ah.
Behind Publix.
Right here.
If you were to look behind Publix,
Hotel up
be,
here, and you come
I
down
got
Lakeview,
you.
it's on the left-hand side, and the 30.34 acres is the half mark.
Thank you.
Sherwin
very
Williams, Publix, the left leg on Lakeview there.
Oh, okay. It just sounded so big.
Yep,
the number
it
of
is.
acres. Oh,
It
okay.
is, but
It's a large parcel.
Okay.
it hasn't been a functioning golf course for, I have no idea, 40-some years.
The whole parcel is 142.7 acres.
Yep, yep.
It was when I was a kid.
Okay, any further discussion? Because we do have a motion and a second.
Oh, who seconded?
Second, I'm sorry.
Second.
You got a second from Mr. Stewart?
Yeah, we didn't have
There you go.
we didn't have one.
What's that?
He started, but he didn't do the
Yeah, he
motion.
finished it. You finished your motion?
Yeah, I finished it.
All right, and we got a second.
Yes, sir.
All
And then we
right.
had a question, and
Now Kathy, you may call the roll.
Bishop.
Yes.
Carlisle.
yes,
Mendel.
Yes,
Stewart.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I apologize. Stetman.
Yes.
Sorry.
No problem whatsoever. Okay, we're getting all the way down to the bottom here. We got some business from the audience. I think there's only one of us who has signed up, Mr. Tom Mendel. Are you any relation to,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Remotely.
Okay.
Tom Mendel. I was just curious if you're going to do any more work for the remodel of the bathroom at the City Pier. I know I've obviously been in the men's room, but they replaced the toilet and the urinal. But the stall walls, the countertops, the floors, there's no new paint in there. They're really in bad shape, and we've got summer coming, and I think there'll be a lot of activity down there.
Okay, I think Mr. Natlet's taken a note of that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And I see Steve.
Public Works, when
Public Works
when they
Director.
started all of that, Tom,
Yep.
they put concrete countertops at Veterans Beach. They're gonna build the same ones for there. It's just
Oh.
they gotta find some time to do it with
Ah,
everything else.
okay,
is good.
perfect.
And the paint, the problem, the paint, they redid the flooring and everything, but the front end of that, where it's all tore up,
Yeah.
that's all, it's like wet concrete, and they can't seal it on there, so they're
Uh-huh.
trying different things on it. So
Okay,
they're
okay.
continuing,
Yep.
from what they were just, Mark, we were down there 6 months
Yeah,
ago?
they're
Yeah, about-
They did.
come
they
a
did-
long ways.
They did a
Really?
big job. Yeah, they were really.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
really
I was in there
good.
the other day and
Yeah.
just noticed it.
They were really, none of the urinals worked, and I mean, they
Yeah.
were just stained, so.
yeah.
But they did a good job with it. But that's their next step, is to plan to build the same kind of indestructible.
Yeah,
Pieces up
makes
there,
sense.
so-
And I see we got new benches out there and
Yeah.
get security
They're working
cameras,
at it.
so it's coming right along.
Yep,
Yeah.
did a good job.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yes, I'd like to compliment Steve Kramer too, our new Public Works Director. He's really been stepping it up and doing a great job, so thank you, Steve, from all of us. I don't see any city attorney business. I don't see any city administrator's business. It looks to me like we're all the way down to the bottom of tonight's agenda. Mrs. Haley,
Council needs to approve the payment of the bills, please.
So
would you like
moved,
to pay the bills.
so moved.
Okay, we got a second from Mr.
Either a
Stewart.
second or a third.
Huh?
Yes.
Any discussion on the payment of the bills? Anybody in the audience? Kathy, call the roll.
Bishop,
Yes.
Carlo,
Yes.
Mendel,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Detman.
Yes, and want to remind everybody, we have an election coming up on March 14th. Early voting starts on, Kathy?
March the
The
6th. It's for
right?
1 week only.
The 6th, right?
And if you miss that week, then you will have to vote, unless you vote by mail, you will have to vote at your precinct.
Correct. And if you're a new resident and you haven't registered yet, you have until a week from this coming Friday, so the 13th, I believe, is the date.
I think that's the date.
So make sure you're in there on the 12th, just to make sure the 13th might be the deadline, but anyhow, get in there, bring your power bill, show them that you live in the city, bring your tax bill, and we'll get you all signed up.
That's a week from yesterday,
What's that?
the 13th,
Today's the 7th.
7th, right?
Yeah. Okay? Everybody get out and vote. Thank you for being here. This meeting has been
Can I
adjourned.
ask,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
can I ask 2 quick questions?
Okay.
The property that you were talking about, is that proposed?
I can't hear you. I don't know.
She needs
The property
to.
that you were talking about, that was on the, behind Publix,
Yes.
is that a proposed, 500 and something apartment complex?
That was the item that we had discussed.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That is correct.
Okay, and one other quick question, the Carter Hall, which is right across from the municipal golf course?
Right.
Are they doing anything with that?
Yes, they pulled a permit, I believe, a couple of weeks ago. Very expensive permit to replace the roof. I think it was like a $600,000 or $700,000 permit. Anybody want to
Well-
correct me on that?
The value of the roof.
Yeah, the value of
It's
the
about
roof.
600,000.
So yes, they are moving forward on that. As a matter of fact, if you pick up Heartland Magazine at any one of the outlets there, usually the restaurants have them out front of that. It features the Pink Lady rising again. Yes. This meeting, folks, is